Hey there and welcome back to another of my videos. Singapore Airlines is consistently voted one of the best 5-star airlines out there, and in my opinion they do set the standard for economy. However, is their business class up to the same standard? Watch this full flight review which will show you the seat, meals, bed and more till the end to find out. Hey guys, and I'm back at Changi Airport. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm flying from here through to Adelaide on the new A350-900 regional with the new regional business class seat. It's going to be an overnight flight, so I hope to get some good night's sleep on board. And I'll also be comparing the regional business class to the full international one and see some of the differences. Also, while I'm at it, why not follow me on Instagram at aviationflyer350, and a link will be in the description below. In the meantime, join me and let's do it together. Let's go.
Welcome in.
So, how was the Singapore Airlines Silver Crisp Business Class Lounge? Well, it was okay, though I did not know whether it was the fact that I was there during peak hours, but I did find it rather crowded. That said, the food selection is reasonable. Here's just a brief look at the buffet on offer. There was also a beer tap which was great. Moving on to Wi-Fi, though certain parts of the lounge had no access to the password at all, the Wi-Fi was pretty quick. The work areas in the business class section is limited and not all seats benefited from PowerPoints. The lounge appeared dark and refined, which will be to some's taste, just not mine really. Overall, the lounge was quiet while the food and Wi-Fi was great. That said, there weren't many other special amenities like spas, and the work areas were limited. All in all, not the best lounge I've been to and not the best way to start this flight. It is worth noting that Singapore Airlines is in the process of upgrading this lounge, and I certainly look forward to seeing what the new lounge at Changi Terminal 3 will be like in the future. That said, as you'll see in a moment, all will be redeemed when I step on board. Well, lounge visit done. It's time to fly. Let's go.
Welcome back here.
Thank you. Thank you.
2 rows of seats to the closest exit.
Every crew to your takeoff stations.
Right, now let's have a look at the business class cabin on the regional version of the A350. This cabin is laid out in a 1-2-1 configuration, meaning all passengers have direct aisle access. There are 2 main cabins, a smaller rear cabin, and the one I sat in was the larger front cabin. It is worth noting that on the regional aircraft, Singapore has kept the center overhead bins, which were massive on the A350 aircraft. The staggered seat layout meant window seats on the odd-numbered rows have most privacy, while the odd-numbered middle seats and even-numbered window seats have least privacy. That said, even those seats offer a fair level of privacy thanks to the high seat walls giving a wraparound feel. The best seats for single travellers are seats on the odd-numbered rows. Best seats for couples are the seats on the even-numbered rows in the middle. However, even these seats have a privacy screen that allows for more privacy, so if you really do not want to talk to your partner, You don't have to. These new regional business class seats are some of the best seats and felt better than many international products from many carriers. Having said that, they are still used for flights up to 8 hours in length, so it's still pretty much an international product. Overall, these seats are fantastic with the nice warm colour palette typical of Singapore Airlines, mixed with more modern touches like black carbon trims. Some have complained that these seats are narrow, but in my opinion, unless you're a giant, they are easily wide enough and not much narrower than many international seats found on other carriers. Having said that, I did feel the padding of the seats was too soft and the seat was most comfortable in the reclined position. The seats was also lined in Alcantara, which helped reduce noise levels. At your seat, there was a comfortable pillow and blanket, though what was lacking was a mattress cover. Beside you, there was a closable storage compartment which houses the noise-cancelling headphones as well as a bottle of water. There was a 3-pin socket, but I did not use it. There were also 2 high-powered USB ports and an NFC card reader. Below that, there was a new haptic feedback touchscreen controller as well as a headphone jack. However, only headphones from Singapore Airlines could be used. Under that, there was a remote controller for the in-flight entertainment system. There was also a mirror in case the selfie function on your phone did not work. The seat featured a coat hook, though the curved seat design meant that the pocket was only good for some magazines and a laptop of up to 13 inches in size. There was no large drawer for keeping things out of sight. That said, there was a space to keep shoes out of the way. The tray table emerges from under the TV screen. It was large enough, though the design meant that you couldn't get out of your seat while the table was in use. Lastly, there was also an adjustable reading light with 3 settings. Overall, while these seats did not feature super luxury features like sliding doors that some other airlines do, they are practical, well designed, and still offer a good level of privacy. Everything you need for a good business class seat. The new Criswell in-flight entertainment system was certainly up there with the best. The screens were 18 inches and large, bright, as well as being very clear. They even pivoted to ensure a good viewing angle. There was also the option of a touchscreen remote, which works well both in portrait and landscape, though the responsive touchscreen was easily good enough. There were plenty of choices from the IFE system, all in terms of movies, TV shows, music, with plenty of the latest craze songs and some Chinese songs for some of my Chinese viewers. There were plenty of games, though I'm sure that business travelers probably would not touch those, as sleep time was much more important. There was also a survey you could help fill, and the screen brightness and volume controls were easy to access from the settings page. You could even adjust the screen size. However, while the interactive route map looked cool and was generally great to use, with many view modes like a cockpit view, even on later systems you still could not preview points of interest. Not even the system could fool me. Also, there are no external cameras on any of the Singapore Airlines fleet, which is a real shame as I think that they really enhance the flight. Having said that, at least it was practical and the airspeed and altitude information was easily accessible. There was, however, no live TV on Singapore Airlines, which I hope they can add in the future. The noise-cancelling headphones worked well enough and did block out whatever noise there was on this superbly quiet A350 aircraft. There was also a cool feature which allowed you to save movies to your KrisFlyer account to resume playing on your next flight. Overall, while no system can topple Emirates Ice or in fact Cathay Pacific system, it came close and is still excellent with its huge variety of choices and intuitive interface. The in-flight Wi-Fi on these new aircraft was not the fastest, but was good enough for me to upload stuff and check out some of my Instagram stories. By the way, if you have not done so, do follow me on Instagram at AviationFlyer350 for more of the latest channel updates as well as some great FG content. More at the end of this video. For business class passengers, there was a complimentary 30MB free Wi-Fi, though beyond that, the prices on Singapore are rather steep. Soon it was time to sleep. The seats converts to a fully flat bed. The controls were easy to use to partially recline or go to the fully flat mode, which was what I did for most of this flight. Now, I decided to have a go with in-flight PJs. Singapore Airlines don't provide them in business class, unfortunately. So I brought my own, and yeah. I brought my own PJs. I think they look pretty good. Let's go and have a nap. The bed was actually pretty comfortable and was very long. I was 183 centimeters tall and had no problems. As a quick review of the bed, I think it's pretty comfortable, especially with this soft blanket. There's no mattress, and it has this nice felty material which helps to dampen noise. Hope you can see it. And it's also pretty long, and one good thing is that, as you can see, your feet don't hit the top part easily, so generally it's a good bed, and the foot robe is pretty good as well. Good night. The seats was lined with Alcantara, which helped to reduce the noise levels. A blanket was provided, and I used it to help bridge the noticeable gap in the seats between the backrest and ottoman when converted to bed mode. In my opinion, an extra mattress comforter would be nice to see. These seats did not have the funny twist at the end like the international product though. The foot space was slightly narrow, though not the worst, and it was tall enough. In my opinion, the increased foot space and straight sleeping position makes this seat more comfortable than the international product. The armrest could be lowered as well to increase width. I found it most comfortable sleeping on my back, and overall, the bed made for a comfortable rest. The service on Singapore Airlines across all classes are fantastic, and here in business, as you'd expect, it is even better. The crew were very switched on and even chatted with me through some parts of the flight, talking about the A350 aircraft and service elements like a campaign not to remove hot towels in economy, which I totally agree as it is a Singapore Airlines unique touch. The crew also remembered all passengers by name, which is good to see, especially in business. That said, for business overnight flights, while eye masks, socks and comfortable slippers were provided, I reckon there should have been an amenity kit. I'm on board the A350. Here's just a quick look at the toilet. Business class toilet is about the same, though it's a bit larger. There'll be mouthwash, even more posh amenities, which is great. And they even have real towels as well. Jesus, that's nice. Some storage. Here's the sink. On this late overnight flight, the crew tried to get everyone off to sleep, which was extremely important and good to see. Thus, a quick meal was served to maximize sleep time. Singapore Airlines does not, however, offer on-demand dining, but the fantastic crew did allow you to choose whether to have the meal served first or later. On this flight, a supper service was served. My father went for the satays, which he reckoned was average. I chose for the meal to be served before landing in Adelaide. Before going to sleep, I indulged in some apple cloud juice accompanied as ever with some warmed nuts. Here's a look at the breakfast service. Thank you.
Fresh orange juice.
Fresh orange juice. Yes, sure. Thanks.
How would you take your coffee? Maybe sugar?
I think it's okay. I don't usually take sugar.
It's a true coffee. It's
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Nothing better than waking up to a coffee. I started it off with a fruit platter and yogurt. The yogurt was good, but the orange was slightly sour. I have the croissant. Croissant? Yes. Thank you. I think that will do. Yeah, thank you. Then came a croissant, which was slightly cold and hard. For the mains, I used Singapore Airlines' excellent book the cook service and went with one of their many healthy options, a simple salmon dish served with a potato salad. It was not too dry and tasted alright, and was light enough as a breakfast dish. While I feel that this meal was only decent for business class, it was probably because this was a late overnight flight. Thus, they chose to serve a light and quick meal, which is a good thing as sleep time is crucial. Overall though, it was still a decent breakfast and a great way to start the day. On my return flight, a full lunch was served. While the meal was not too special considering this is business class, it did not fall short, and meals and service on Singapore Airlines are overall excellent and some of the industry's best. Soon it was time to land, so what did I think of this business class flight? Well, as you would expect for a business class flight, it was fantastic and one of my best flights ever. While the lounge was slightly disappointing and crowded, the seats was great. Though it did not have fancy features like sliding doors that Qatar and Delta has, it was still a practical and comfortable seat, even for sleeping, despite the lack of a mattress cover. As this was a dark overnight flight, I did not really get to try much food, though on my return flight the food was overall pretty decent. The eye view was great, though probably not as good as Emirates Ice. What stood out across all my flights with Singapore Airlines though were the crew. The crew on all of my flights across both economy and business were excellent. On this flight, the crew even wrote me a surprise card, which was such a nice touch. Good morning guys, woke up after a pretty decent sleep overall, so yeah, it's a pretty flat bed. Woke up and found this on my bed. Can you see it? How lovely. Thanks. Oh, okay.
And this is the 350 aircraft that you're taking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Singapore Airlines, and this one is message from Captain. I asked him to write you something.
Okay, thank you so much. It contains some words from the pilot. This is definitely going into my collection and alone made this flight memorable. So overall, what is the aviation flight's verdict? Should you avoid, consider, shortlist, or fly Singapore Airlines business? Well, overall, with a combination of the decent hard product and absolutely the best service across all cabin classes, I would say that while Singapore Airlines business does not offer the wow factor that some other airlines do, it is a very comfortable way to fly, and overall, I would certainly recommend you to shortlist Singapore Airlines in business class. Singapore Airlines sets the standard for economy and their business class does not disappoint either. I would also like to add that I did get in touch with Singapore Airlines that I'll be filming on board. I thought it was great they got in touch with such a small channel like me, and this shows their true commitment to please all passengers. Despite this is not a paid advertisement, and this video was based on my honest thoughts and opinions with my typical review standards. Overall though, Singapore Airlines is certainly a great way to fly. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, do consider subscribing and hit the bell icon so you're alerted of more new flight reviews as well as some great vlogs and content, including new plane spotting content on the way. Also, if you want to be updated on the latest channel activities as well as some wing shots and aircraft content, do check out my new Aviation Flyer 350 Instagram page by clicking the link in the description below. Lastly, for any of you aeroplane geeks out there, consider subscribing to my Airplane Productions TV channel for more great comparison videos and F-Geek content. In the meantime, as ever, wishing you and everyone a truly clear sky ahead.